Good morning, grade 5. So, today our lesson is to talk about what is point of view and what are the types of point of view. Also, what would be our marker for us to be able to identify which type are we pertaining. Is it the first person, second person, or third person point of view? Alright? So, most stories are told by a narrator. Do you know what is a narrator? A narrator is someone who is stating or telling the story based on his or her point of view. So, a narrator is not a character in the story. A narrator tells the thoughts, feelings, and actions of all the characters in the story. It means that a narrator is not a member of a character of the story. He or she is the one who tells us the thoughts and feelings of the characters and shows us and tells us the actions of the characters in the story. So, in the stories that do not have a narrator are told from the point of view. So, now we will proceed with the point of view and its type. Do you have an idea what is a point of view? Or what does point of view means? What comes to your mind when you hear view? It is when you are looking at something or you are perceiving something. So now, let's define what is a point of view. Point of view is the perspective from which a narrative is told. It indicates who is telling the story and how the information is being filtered or given or disseminated to the audience. We have the first person, second person, and third person. And we will be discussing these three one by one. Alright? Point of view gives the perspective from which a story is told. So here are the three main text types of point of view that we will be discussing in this lesson. Alright? So a first person. A first person narrative is an extension of the way that we tell stories every day. Often, the first person narrator will be the protagonist. So, when we say protagonist, this is the principal character in a literary work, such a drama or story, or a protagonist in the leading actor or leading character in a movie or a book or what I told you a while ago in a story. Alright? So here is the example. As I walked through the park today, I saw the biggest, most beautiful blue butterfly. So this is an example of a sentence where the narrator is the one stating what she really saw in the park, meaning that this is in the first person point of view because the narrator is the one who is telling us on what she saw in the park, right? So, she saw the biggest, most beautiful blue butterfly. So, the pronoun here that is used is I. Later, I will be giving you the list of the pronouns for each point of view that you have to remember. Alright? So, the second person point of view in those the reader with the narrative viewpoint, asking them to place themselves directly in the headspace of a particular character, either the protagonist or a secondary personality. The pronouns associated with second person include you, your, and yours. So here is the example of a second person point of view. You should have seen the butterfly. You would have loved his bright colors. So the narrator tells the story to another character using you. Just like in this example, the lady is not pertaining to herself. So she did not use I. She is telling that you. Alright? So last one is the third person. The third person point of view uses third person pronouns such as he and she to relate the story. So the third person is not really in the event, story, or situation, but she or he has a different perspective or point of view. So here is the example for the third person point of view. As she stood staring lovingly at the butterfly, a UFO appeared out of nowhere and sucked the blue creature into its ship. So we can see here that it is no longer the woman or the lady stating what she saw in the park. It is the third person already narrating or telling us what she saw in the park. And it may be in different point of view or perspective. So here are the things that you have to remember in using the different point of view. First is the first person point of view. Uses the pronouns I, my, we, our, me, and us. The narrator speaks about himself or herself. The narrator is usually also the main character, or the narrator is the protagonist. So I, being the narrator, so I am pertaining to my own feeling. Example, I was sad. I felt nervous. Second person point of view uses pronouns you and your. The narrator speaks directly to the reader, or rarely used. Example, you were sad, you felt nervous. So as you see in the example, I am not pertaining to myself or my own feeling, but I am pertaining to your feeling. I am pertaining to the reader or to the one reading my sentences or my story. Alright? The lastly is the third person point of view. Uses pronouns like he, she, it, they, his, her, and their. The narrator watches the story but is not in it. He speaks about other characters but not himself. Most stories use this point of view. Example, he looks sad, he seemed nervous. So, explaining the characters' feelings, what they are doing, their action. So, those are the pronouns that you have to remember so that you will be able to identify in which point of view is the speaker or the narrator. Alright? So, grade 5, that would be all for today. I'll see you in our live discussion. Bye! Have a great day!